Isunya yang penting untuk diprioritaskan adalah inklusivitas. Karena tata kelola internet itu memang harusnya adalah multi stakeholder, tapi seperti yang kita pahami saat ini yang terjadi dalam tata kelola internet itu yang namanya inklusivitas belum terlihat dalam step by stepnya ya, dalam langkah-langkahnya gitu. Misalnya terkait tentang peraturan atau kebijakan yang dibuat pemerintah, apakah seluruh stakeholder sudah dilibatkan dengan secara seimbang, atau ketika kita membahas produk-produk digital gitu ya, atau platform digital yang digunakan secara global, apakah mereka juga menerapkan inklusivitas di dalam pembangunan atau pengembangan kebijakan privasi mereka gitu. Karena kita tahu ya, namanya platform digital itu kan tidak hanya dipakai di satu negara tertentu, tetapi para penggunanya sendiri pun bisa jadi berada di negara-negara yang punya konteks, latar belakang, kebutuhan yang berbeda-beda gitu. Jadi ketika para platform digital yang kebanyakan terpusatnya di Amerika Serikat dan di Eropa Utara gitu ya, ketika mereka membangun platform digital dengan mindsetnya mereka, tentu pasti ada orang-orang yang kemudian terpinggirkan oleh kebijakan-kebijakan yang sudah dibangun oleh mereka gitu. Nah ini kan berarti belum inklusif ya, belum melibatkan semua stakeholder secara seimbang. Sedangkan kembali lagi, yang namanya tata kelola internet itu harusnya multi stakeholder gitu. Jadi inklusivitas itu penting untuk nggak cuma digaungkan ya, tapi benar-benar dipraktikkan gitu. Atau isu lainnya, bagaimana anak muda yang sekarang menjadi pengguna internet terbesar di dunia gitu, apakah mereka sudah terlibat dalam pembicaraan-pembicaraan pengembangan kebijakan terkait internet itu sendiri. Kalau misalnya terkait dengan forum-forum yang membicarakan tata kelola internet seperti IGF gitu ya, baik yang di global, regional ataupun yang nasional gitu, apakah sudah banyak anak muda yang terlibat di dalamnya? Itu pun masih tanda tanya gitu. Kalau di global sendiri, isunya sendiri juga cukup banyak ya. Ketika anak muda mau terlibat di dalam forum tata kelola internet yang global, apakah mereka punya modal, punya kapital untuk bisa terbang ke situ, mengikuti acaranya? Tidak semua anak muda memiliki privilege atau hak istimewa atau kapital yang seperti itu gitu kan. Setelah itu pun mungkin ada kendala-kendala lain, misalnya ketika forum-forumnya hanya dilakukan di negara-negara yang emang sudah dikdaya gitu ya, misalnya di Amerika Serikat atau di Eropa Utara itu sendiri. Kemudian ada masalah lain, ketika anak muda harus mengurus visa untuk bisa terbang ke forum tersebut gitu, untuk menghadiri forum tersebut, ternyata mereka terhalang dengan alasan sesimpel mengurus visa itu sendiri gitu. Jadi kayak untuk tata kelola internet memang kalau membahas dari sisi inklusivitas itu masih sangat kurang sekali gitu. Tidak hanya terkait anak muda juga, tetapi bagaimana perempuan di dalam tata kelola internet gitu. Apakah misalnya algoritma yang dikembangkan oleh para platform digital itu juga memperhatikan bagaimana gender bias atau teman-teman minoritas lainnya. Ini juga yang harus menjadi pertanyaan bagi kita bersama terkait tata kelola internet.
If you're walking like on the street of like Bangkok, right, you don't feel like you have your freedom taken away that much, right? Okay, there's traffic jam, there's like something that very bad on the like street side, whatever, but it's just like normal. I mean, just like any other like ASEAN countries, right? So we do actually have some freedom. There are some rooms, right? Only if you're trying to touch upon some issues, right? And that's when you know that like, okay, you already hit the limit. There's some ceiling, right? And this is where, interestingly, where the internet start to being regulated. So we actually like not regulating the internet at every spectrum for the weak as well, right? For the normal life of everyday life of people, like data protection, for example, we don't have any. we don't have we not have any like data protection, personal data protection, right? So I think like when if you like do something survey, which is very interesting, like that like if we can have some mappings, right, of like how the internet being regulated, or in general how data is being regulated like in different countries, you will see who are the category of people or institutions that got the most protected in that country. And those categories of people are people who actually have the power in that country. I take one example. If you're looking at our recent draft, right, the most recent draft as of September 2018 of data protection bill. In the draft, in Article 4, there are exemptions, right? That like, okay, if you belong to these categories of industries, you got exempted, right, from this data protection bill. It means basically like the law will not govern you, right? Because these are like most of the time people who use our data the most, right? So like from this bill, you can see like who actually have the power in the country. So I think it would be interesting, like if like I mean every country is around here do like some studies like this, and you can see like okay, well the data is information is power, right? Who control the information, control the power, right? And yeah, exactly this, right? I mean they want to have your personal data, but they don't want to be governed on the way they're going to using your data. So these are the real people in power because nobody watch them. I think like the first thing is like keep watching yourself, right? Like okay, for example, like in terms of like personal data, who use your personal data, right? And this is not for other people benefit; it's for your benefit, right? Who knows your bank account number? Who use your like addresses, whatever, right? So like the first thing is like okay, try to being aware about yourself first, right? And from this, right, you will know that who has a tendency or patterns of violating your data or your freedom to get access to information, right? And I think from that, right, as a consumer, so I think like that's two parts, right? In the same internet user, we are consumers, we are also citizens. Right. You complain about this as a consumer, right? And as a citizen, right, you feel like okay, my privacy rights, which is also civil rights, right, got violated. You make a complaint to related regulators, right? Or also as a citizens, right, collectively, maybe you like I don't know, like or you can if you like to like you can sue, right? I think like there's the different mechanism, right? In a lot of countries, you have this like consumer protection board, right? Or some other stuff related. I think like that's the first step, right? That okay, how to actually make the service provider basically becoming a better player in the market, right? And also this kind of action will send a signal that like we actually value privacy, we actually value internet freedom, right? And I think that's something that I think everybody can do, right? I mean of course like involvement, participation in the policy making, right? Reading laws, monitor whatever the government doing, it's good, right? But it's not activities that in the end everybody like have a resource, time to do, right? But I think we can start first with this. Okay, you concern only about yourself, kind of selfish. Well, you can, but this is some starting point, right?
It's actually helpful.
Yeah, right. You check your own health, basically, right? Who use your data, who cut your access to internet, who blocking your access to internet, right? Which service provider perform ethically, right? In terms of the ethics, like worse than another, right? And you switch, right? use the service of the better player, I think that will already help something. Right?